Hey everybody, this is Chesley
and Deja.
And 30, the new 20 starts now. Hey everybody, we're having our second episode and we're talking all about mothers since we just celebrated Mother's Day on Sunday. And we're talking about mothers today and we have some special guests with us. We have a mother, well actually my big sister. Won't you introduce yourself?
Candace. And I was a mom in my 20s.
Okay.
And my name is Brittany, and I became a mother in my 30s.
So today we're just going to be talking about the differences of being a mother in your 30s and in your 20s because it can be different for anybody and everybody. So we're just talking about our experiences today. So guys, let's get to it. Are you guys ready? Are you ready?
I'm ready.
All right. So Candace, tell us about the moment that you had to tell your mother, your father, like, hey, I'm pregnant.
Wow. I found out I was pregnant with Miles on a Wednesday. And I knew that I couldn't go through a whole pregnancy and not tell my mom. Or go even through half of it and not tell my mom. And just go through it, period, and not tell my mom. So I went to work. I used to work at a wig shop. I went to work that Saturday and I told my boss, and she's like, you have to tell your mom. I was like, yeah, I know. So I called my mom on the phone, didn't have a cell phone then, and I picked up the phone and I called her and I was like, Mom, I have to tell you something. And she was like, what is it? I was like, I'm pregnant. And the phone was silent for like a long time. And she came back to the phone and said, I can't even talk to you right now. My stomach hurts. And I was like, well, okay. Mm-hmm. And she hung up the phone. Didn't say bye, cat, dog, rat, or nothing. And I cried my eyes out at the shop. And, they just kept telling me, it's okay. She's just in shock right now. And I hadn't even told y'all yet that I was pregnant. But I had to tell her. But that Sunday we went to church and we hugged it out in church and she was like, it's going to be okay. I'm here for you. And I was like, thank you, Mom.
I remember that Sunday because y'all were crying and shit.
Oh my gosh, we was crying.
I was looking lost in church. I was halfway asleep because y'all know I used to sleep in church.
Yes, you did, Deja. But yeah, that was, and then ever since then, she just needed that moment to digest it. And I get it, being a mom now, you don't want to try to tell you something so profound and not knowing what their plans were. But I was living on my own and I was with my ex-husband at the time and I was doing good, but one little slip.
Okay, Brittany, how did you tell your family or your mom you were pregnant?
Through text message.
Oh, okay. The differences.
When I found out I was pregnant, I was 30. So I didn't even care too much about none of that. People have been begging me to have a baby, so I'm like, okay, cool, they're gonna be good. So I knew I was pregnant for about a week, but I didn't say nothing. I think I told Chesley and Quita. And I didn't tell nobody else, but I kept hitting. I was like, I think I'm pregnant. My mom was like, girl, shut up. No, you aren't. I'm like, okay. So that Sunday, me and Chesley went out, had fun, turned up. Because I'm like, this is going to be my last hoorah for about 2 years. So let me turn up. And that Sunday, I took a test and it was positive. I didn't even pee on it good. And it was positive. Bing!
Different says, yeah, girl.
Yeah, girl.
So I made me a doctor's appointment, and that Tuesday, she was like, yeah, you pregnant. I'm like, but yeah, I went home, I took a picture of the test or whatever, and my mom was talking about, stop motherfucking lying. And they was lit, they was happy, and, I guess because I was older, it didn't too much.
It hit different when you're older.
Yeah, it does. It's not that bad.
Okay, well that's a good pill to swallow.
But I didn't tell Daddy. I didn't have a chance to tell. I did tell him, but I think Mama told like the masses from Mississippi to Kentucky. Put your finger up. Yeah, she told everybody, but when it came to my dad, it was hard. But I think I told him like a couple of weeks after, and I think that's when we found out that we were having a brother as well.
Oh.
Yeah, so I think he took it a little different. So our brother and my son are 5 months apart. But when I talked to him and told him, he was quiet. But he was like, you need to make sure he pay child support. And I was like, dude, we live together. Like, calm down. We live together. It's all good. But, you know, hindsight is 20/20. I should have put that sucker on child support then because, you know, he don't do shit now. So that's neither here nor there. That's on another episode of 30s. Is child support yes or no?
Brittany, how did you tell your dad separately or no? Or you told him at the same time?
Of course, I told him separately. Like at the time, I was still staying with my father, so it's like I was hiding from him for a good 2 weeks.
Wow.
Like when I knew he was coming home, I'd be leaving, or I'll already be asleep. So he can't see me.
So he didn't even see you.
No. And it's like he thought something was going on, but when I had to sit down and talk to him because my dad has a big thing about hearing stuff last. So
oh God, that's all father.
Yeah.
I had to smooth it over like he wasn't last one to really hear, but he really was.
Oh, damn. Now you know.
And when he hears this,
right. And then, you know, like I had to make my mom feel like, he don't say nothing because he gonna kill me. You know, he found out last. But he was cool. He was like, are you ready? And he was like, it's about time because, you know, Deanna, she been going strong. Somebody else. I'm like, thank you, Lord. I just knew. Because, you know, I was in the process of moving out anyway. So he was just like, he wanted me to stay. We're going to do this. We're going to get this room together. We're going to, no, I got to go.
Got to go.
And he didn't want to let me go.
Aww.
Yeah.
So did you, at any point during your pregnancy and just knowing that I'm about to have a whole human being I have to be caring for, did you feel like, were there any doubts about what type of mother you would be?
Girl, let me tell you. So, I don't know if we're going to do birth stories or anything.
Okay,
but I'm going to tell you.
We can.
Okay, so I'm going to tell you.
I don't want to hear about when he came out.
I don't want to hear about the coochie part,
No.
yeah.
We won't talk about all that. But that's going to sound real nasty. But, no, like my whole pregnancy, I was fine. I had some light bleeding and I was like, oh my God, I'm going to lose my baby. But and the way the advice nurse talked to me, I hated her. She was like, well, if you're miscarriaging, it's just going to happen. There's nothing we can do about it. No. I said, oh God. And this was 4th of July weekend. And I'll never forget it. So I stayed home. He went out and did the whole 4th of July stuff with his family. And I stayed at home because she was like, well, just bed rest until we can get you in. And I was like, okay, all right then. But I mean, he's here, praise God. Exactly. I'm 20-something years old and going through all of this.
Yeah.
I told my mom and she was like, just be calm. And it was a whole to-do. But I will say, the moment I realized that she got real is when they gave me the epidural. She touched my foot with a needle or a pin or something shit. I don't know. And she was like, do you feel it? I was like, yes! I feel it! I'm not ready! I remember this like it was yesterday. I put my foot, they were wheeling me to the operating room, out of the delivery room. I put my foot on the door, out of the bed, on the door. Still was feeling everything. I said, I ain't ready. I'm not ready. And I started crying. And Mama was like, she couldn't come in the delivery room with me because I had a cesarean. So Mama put my foot down. You know how she got them strong ass hands. She was like, should have thought about that before you had this baby. Now, you are going to be fine. Motherhood is natural. You're gonna be fine. You're gonna raise him and you're gonna be fine. Just just do it. And I got my shit, and I went into the delivery room.
Okay, Brittany, please tell us that moment when the shit got real for you.
I found out I was pregnant March 28th. So, of course, you have to make an appointment, OBGYN, and they couldn't see me for 2 weeks. I was sick as a dog. Couldn't keep nothing down. I couldn't drink water. I couldn't hold my head up. And my mama was like, oh, it's a girl. It's a girl. So I'm like, girl, bye. So 2 weeks went by. Went to the doctor. And she was like, how you feeling? How you doing? I'm like, I'm sick. I can't do nothing. And then my boyfriend had to literally carry me in there because I didn't have no energy.
Oh my God.
So she was like, I think I know what it is, but I'm not going to say that until we do your ultrasound. She was happy.
She knew?
She was happy. She was just jumping around. I'm like, what's wrong with this bitch? So we get back there. And, I was still early. So, that's when they stick the dildo in you.
Yeah. And violate you.
So she was just moving it around.
Oh, God.
She was like, it is what I thought. My mama looking. It was me, my mama, and my boyfriend. My mama looking. She said, is that what I think it is? And I'm looking like, you need to be that still because I can't see. She was like, I'm trying to show you both of them. I said, both of them? I said, you have the twins. I said, no the hell I am. Y'all, when I tell y'all, the minute the lady said, y'all having twins, I stopped breathing. Like they literally had to bring somebody in there because I wasn't breathing. And like, tears were just rolling. And my mama was happy. She calling folks. She jumping up and down. And me and my boyfriend was sitting here like,
what the fuck?
So,
oh my God.
But my pregnancy was horrible. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, I
the first 5-6 months, my shit was horrible.
Mm-hmm.
I couldn't eat. The only thing I could really eat was fruit and Hawaiian rolls. And I'm like, I'm so sick of this shit. I don't know what to do.
Mine was applesauce.
I hated it. But yeah, we had twins, boy and a girl.
Jesus. So the nurse knew what you were having.
I knew. Because as soon as I said it, she was like, well, most mothers, when it's their first pregnancy, they be real sick like that. She said, but I'm just gonna make sure it's what I think it is. And I'm like, why she keep saying that? And then she was like, I'm gonna go and get your ultrasound ready so we can do and see what's going on. And I'm like, because she went from a 2 to a 10 after I told her I was like sick as a dog. And she was like, okay. She said, I think I know what this is.
It's not Corona.
Oh my God. Deja had to take a little break.
Oh my God.
Hilarious. So that's when it got real. So tell me this moment when you first saw them for the first time. The first time you saw your child. How did that feel? What was that feeling like? How could you express that with somebody?
Oh my gosh.
How do you
make me cry?
Right.
So I had a cesarean and I couldn't see Miles until Miles had a really hard time in life at first. He wasn't breathing when he was born. The doctors were shaking their heads on, if he was going to make it or not. And I'm oblivious to this all because I cut open and don't know what's going on. But, so they took him, they rushed him to the NICU to get him going. I never heard him cry or anything.
Wow.
So I didn't get that.
I'm finna cry.
Yeah. I didn't get that moment that most mothers get when they hear their babies cry for the first time. So I went, they, sewed me up or whatever. And I had Miles at 3:28. I didn't see Miles physically until the next day.
Wow.
Yeah, I didn't see him physically till the next day. But the nurses in the NICU at Northside Hospital, shout out to Northside Hospital.
Okay, come on.
Babyland, the best hospital ever. The nurses there took a picture of him, and I still have that picture. So that was the first picture that I ever saw of him. But when I went to the NICU, they was like, well, you stay seated, because I was like, I stood up, and I was like, I gotta see him. So I was like, hi, Miles. And he looked at me and he was like, bitch, where you been? Where you been? He was on his back and he was looking up at, because they had him in the warmer or whatever. But he was the biggest baby. He was 9 pounds, 4 ounces, 22 inches long.
Child, you look like your goodness.
Exactly.
3-year-old.
But he was laying there, biggest baby in the NICU, and like I said, he looked at me like, bitch, where you been? All these other randoms been in here. I ain't heard your voice. Where have you been? And it was like instant connection right there.
Wow.
Like, I didn't cry or anything, but I was like, oh, mine was such a pretty baby. Like, everybody always say, oh, my baby is so pretty. No, that's because you did their mama. But my baby was beautiful. And my best friend at the time, she saw him before I saw him. And she was like, let me see the picture they gave you. And I showed it to her. She was like, girl, that picture don't do him no justice. He had the little patches on his cheeks. Mm-hmm. And he had tubes in his nose and in his mouth. He was still like grinning, big old head, yellow baby. But that was the first time I saw him.
Oh.
And we've been inseparable since.
Brittany, what is your experience first time you met your kids?
I had a C-section as well, and both of them came out hollering. So I was like, who is who? Of course, when you have twins, one baby sits lower than the other. So who's ever at the bottom comes out first. So Bailey was born first, and she was the smallest. She was 4 pounds, 12 ounces. And she came out. They really had to make her cry. But Bryson, I'm like, oh my God. Like, who was that? He sounded like he was 6 months when he came out.
Oh my God.
Like, his lungs were strong. He was just hollering. I'm like, what the hell he hollering like that for? But it was just, I just started crying. Because, of course, in that moment, you have the C-section. You can't really touch them. They really, you can see them. Mm-hmm. But I was so in and out of it. Like, I remember, but I don't remember. Mm-hmm. So it's like they had them. Bryson was 5 pounds, 7 ounces. So he didn't have to go to the NICU. But Bailey did. And I was just bawling. The lady was like, we gonna bring her back. I said, no, y'all not. You lying. Because the doctor was saying, you can't go see her until we get the, what they call it, the catheter out of you.
No, the placenta?
No, the catheter. Yeah, I had to have all of that.
Yeah, I did too. I went down there with that damn baby.
I couldn't go down. Like, I had them at 1:45 in the afternoon, and I didn't see Bailey till the next day. I cried all night, and the nurse was like, I'm finna take this out of you. She said, I don't supposed to do it yet, but I'm finna take it. So, girl, as soon as she took it, I woke Anthony up. I said, I'm finna go down here and see my baby. He was like, you want me to go with you? No. Nope. You can stay right here with him. He was like, I'm going to go with you. No. I'm good. And they tried to give me a wheelchair. I'm good. I'm going to walk. And I don't know. It was just, it's really undescribable. It's like indescribable.
It's like you've been carrying a stranger.
Right.
9 months, 9+ months with mine. And then when you see them for the first time, it's like, oh, you the one looking at me. You been kicking me. Oh, you the reason why.
Listen,
I ain't been able to eat lots of market.
They told my insides up. So I'm like, so it was y'all.
Y'all.
And Bryson was long, and I'm like, yeah, now I see why I was hurting like that so much. But it's just, you can't describe it. I was just looking, he looks like his dad, and Baby looks like me. So I'm like, at least I got one,
It was an even split.
Thank God, because I was going to be real mad.
And you did all that work.
And
nobody looked like you.
I was going to be pissed.
Mine looked just like me.
Wow.
But I was scared for a minute because Bailey was so small, and But I'm like, fuck that, give me my baby. Because the nurse was like, well, we really trying to keep her warm. I don't care.
Give me my baby.
Now I keep her warm.
Listen, my whole family went down there, and it was like, well, y'all can't touch her. You can just see her. My mom now. What the fuck you mean? We can't. I'm like, oh my God. And my mom told me, yeah, I had to come with her down there because they down there tripping. We can't touch her. We've been waiting 9 months. You supposed to have sex. I said, oh my God.
Keep that in the hospital.
Can't all the way out.
Wow.
But it's a great feeling.
Oh.
Okay, Brittany, your kids, your son just got here last year, 2020, at the end of 2019, sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, so seeing everything going on, how does that make you feel about how you're going to raise him with shootings and black men being killed, and how can you protect your son by knowledge? What are you planning to do?
It's hard because you see so much and so much is happening. My son right now, he's only 6 months. So it's like I'm trying to prepare for when he does get old enough to, like the talks and you can't do this, you don't need to be over there. And I plan on being that mother. Yes, I'm going to track phones. Whenever you going somewhere, I need to know where you at,
Right.
who you with, what y'all doing. And it's take your sister with you.
Right, take your sister with you.
And Bailey gonna be like, oh my God. But it's gonna be hard. I'm grateful that I have his father because I let him step in because he's a boy. I'm a girl. I don't know nothing about that. But I let him step in with certain stuff. Like I put my input in about how I want stuff done so I can feel safe. I want to make sure my child is safe. So as long as, like my feelings and guidelines are taken into consideration, I'm fine. But it makes you think, and it makes you try to realize and figure out the times that we are in right now. Because when we was growing up, we didn't have to deal with this. We did whatever we wanted to do, for real. Our mom and them really didn't too much, as long as they knew who you was with.
We was fine because we ain't had cell phones.
Right. And it's like now kids have cell phones when they 3. So
Yeah.
It's 5. Right. It's like I can keep track of him, even though he's not going to be nowhere he doesn't need to be. But I just need to make sure in my mind that you good, and I don't have no worries.
All right. What are struggles that you had when you were in your 20s raising Miles? What were your struggles that you used to have? Here we go.
Well, I'm not even gonna call him crazy because I was crazy. So, me and Miles' father had a very volatile relationship, and it's sad how I behaved back then. But he would cheat, and I would find out, and then he would lie, and don't fucking lie to me. So then I was a real avid fighter.
Okay.
Don't lie to me because hands will be thrown. Period. And no questions asked. I'm not that way anymore. I've been remarried. My husband now is wonderful. He is a godsend because he balances me out. My ex-husband, he kind of fueled the fire, if to say. He made me act the way I did and made me act out of character. And I always say the 2004 and 1 Candace, don't take me back to her because she ain't cute at all. I mean, and then I didn't love myself. Like, I would go places with my mom and my sisters, and I'd be looking like Sally the Hag bag, and I didn't care about what I looked like. I was like, I got a kid, fuck it, I don't care.
What was the point until you got when you decided that, hey, let me snap out of this for Miles?
When I got married, when I got remarried to Tard, like, he put a different light in me. And he showed me how I could be better, grown up Candace, and not the Candace that he met in '98. I could be grown up Candace, and I really quickly had to grow up because shortly after we got married, his mother passed away. The year after we got married, so I had to kind of grow up because I had to help him handle business and help his dad and his brother. So it kind of growed me up. But growed me up. Yeah, I say that. It growed me up. Okay. It growed me up in a different way. But I mean, when we first got married, like I still tried to be that old Candace where I would like to fight. And he was like, hey, bro, he pinned me to the washer. He was like, we're not going to do this. But he made me change. But Miles saved my life, though.
Candace, how did Miles, as you say, save your life?
Yo, I was out there wilding out.
Hot girl summer.
It was hot girl summer, fall, winter, spring. It was all of it. It was to the point where I was going to dance.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I worked for Head Start, and my first paycheck in the summer, I was going to dance at Strokers because I stayed next door to it. So me and my girlfriend was like, we going. Got there, they was like, get naked. I was like, nope. Not happening.
You was really gonna dance.
I was really going body roll.
Oh shit.
I mean, with my clothes on, but then they said, get naked.
That ain't stripping.
Right.
So you want to be a go-go dancer?
I mean, bartender. Because we do know some that are bartenders. But no. I was like, hell no, I'm not doing that. And like maybe 6 months after that, I guess God was like, I'm going to sit your ass down. Hold on, watch me work. And y'all, I was told that I wasn't going to have kids because my hormones was and up and down. And she was like, yeah, you probably won't. I was like, well, I work with kids. You know, I'm fine with it. And I was really like devastated deep down inside. But when they told me that I was pregnant, I was like, do the test again because my period is coming like in 2 days. So she was like, no, that test lit up like a Christmas tree. Okay. So at that moment, I was like, I got to change. I gotta do better. And so I slowed down. So the whole time I was pregnant with Miles, I think I fought one time.
What?
Yeah.
Damn, you a vicious guy.
I think I fought one time, but that was it. And then after I had him, I was just so angry at his dad that he just made me act out and made me go stop where he was staying at because he moved out and made me like act crazy because he was seeing a girl that he was cheating with. He started seeing her like full time. I was like, nigga, no. But Miles, he literally saved my life. Like I would still be, if I didn't have Miles, I wouldn't be married. If I didn't have Miles, I'd have been
at Stroker Stripping.
At Stroker Stripping or Magic City. I'm telling you, if the Lord, and see, God gave me a stomach I can't He said permanently, Hot Girl Summer is canceled as of 2004. It will not happen. But yeah, I'd be out here in the world. I might be in Dubai. Who knows? But yeah, if he was gonna be a sugar baby,
sugar baby. Come on, baby.
I'm just saying.
I was caught out there.
Great. Brandy, what's some struggles that you deal with or dealt with your pregnancy or before or after?
She didn't even get the same question.
It is the same question.
During my pregnancy, just trying to keep food down because I was hungry. But other than that, I'm not gonna say it's hard when you're older, but my patience, they gone. I have no patience whatsoever, and I pray and I ask God to give them back to me because I got a long way to go. 18 years. Listen, what did I tell y'all?
I'm almost done.
Before I had them, I was like, I'm gonna be on crack. I cannot. And it's like, I'm learning. Like every day is a learning process for me. It's like my family is there, but it's like when they leave after they done visited an hour or two, it's like, okay, what I do now? And it's like you have to learn. And of course your babies are looking at you. Mama, what we gonna do?
Right.
So I'm looking at them, they're looking at me. Like the first 3 weeks was horrible. I cried every day and I'm like, I can't do this. Because I was on maternity leave for 3 months. So I'm like, by the time these 3 months hit, I'm going to be a beast. I'm going to be mom of the year. And that shit was horrible. I was crying every day. I'm like, I can't do it. I'm like, I was thinking about, like me and my boyfriend would break up. He'd take one and I keep one. They would make it easier.
The parent trap.
Like, oh my God.
Find each other at summer camp.
Right.
It was crazy. That's what it was gonna be. For real.
What is some advice that you would tell yourself at 20 about being a mother? And then same goes for you, Brittany. What would you tell yourself? Advice you would tell yourself?
Don't be so angry, bitch. As my granny says, it'll be all right in the morning. Like, trouble don't last always. Like, you just only going through it for a season. And just, I ain't gonna say the way I acted, but the struggles I had while I was in my 20s taught me how to never go back to that again. Like, I could have been locked up, me and you. I could have been locked up, and I could have been away from my son for it wasn't gonna be murder. It was just gonna be beating real bad. But I could have been taken away from my son. But like, it ain't gonna be hard always. It gets easier.
Lord.
It does.
I can't wait.
It gets easier. I'll say my turning point, and my son has a special need. He has a speech impediment and he is a slower learner. So with him doing all of that and me being a teacher myself, knowing that he should be doing certain things at a certain time and him not meeting these milestones, I was like, I always knew, even when he was young, that something was going on. But, everybody else, he's going to be fine. But yeah, he is fine, but he's going to need help to get where he needs to be. But yeah, just don't be so angry and it'll be all right in the morning.
Brittany?
I tell myself every day to breathe.
That's a good one.
And slow down. Because I'm always on go. And I was thinking yesterday, I'm like, I'm the first one to wake up and the last one to lay down. And it hits you so hard, it continues.
That part don't stop.
And I'm like, Lord, just give me grace. Give me all that. Because I'm like, I can't do this. Because I was looking yesterday like, damn, everybody sleep. I'm still up. Like, okay, I guess. But I don't know. It's it's hard, but it's not hard. As long as you keep God first, you love on your babies, you do what you have to do, and you raise them right, it gets easier. I'm waiting on that part, but it's not bad. It's not. They have their days like everybody else, and you gotta help them through it.
Too. Yeah.
And that's what kicked in my head the other day. Like, they're people too. Like, their personalities are starting to come in. I'm like, oh shit. It's gonna be crazy. I'm gonna literally have a madhouse because my children be all over the place. Like Bailey, she's cool. You feed her, you change her diaper, she fine. Bryson, he gonna holler, he gonna scream. He has to literally see you to be cool. If he see your face, he fine. But they have some days they have their matches. They try to see who screamed the loudest. The hardest part that I've been dealing with though is transitioning, because most people know, of course, I only had to take care of myself, and I didn't have them until I was 30, so I've been on my own for years. And it's like I went from only worrying about me to having twins and a nigga. I mean, a boyfriend. So it's like I went from one person to now 4 people. It's like it's a daily struggle, and I know it's not going to get easier. It will once I kick them out my house, but I mean, it's worth it. Right? It's definitely worth it, because I never thought I would have kids anyway. Because I really, at that point, I had labeled myself as the drunk auntie. The traveler auntie. Right. Like, now it's like, you gotta figure it out. So, it's cool at the end of the day. you always know you will have that unconditional love though.
Oh God, yeah.
And that's the best part.
Mine's on my dirty drawers.
Right.
Ew.
That's disgusting.
So this has been a great conversation.
Yes,
ladies.
it has.
I have learned a lot that I still don't want kids right now.
Neither.
But you know, I'm 30 right now, and I've only been 30 for 2 months, and with Corona, it's really giving me a lot of
take this off.
anxiety, and it's just been like, you know what? Yeah, God is saying this is not the time right now.
Yeah,
But, you
just
know,
wait.
When it happens, and I just know I have the love and support of friends and family. You all are just seeing you as a big sister, Candace. You're doing a phenomenal job with Miles, and just with the barriers that he's had in place, you killed it, and he loves you, and I'm not gonna cry. You just doing a very awesome job being a mom, and Brittany, just knowing that you still working, want to work, and still taking care of your kids. You're 30, you have so much going for you, and so much is about to open up for you. Many blessings to you as a new mom. It's gonna. If you can tackle twins, if I just get one baby, I just know it's gonna be
Right.
Twins do run on your side.
Yeah, we gonna hope they don't run
Through me.
So we appreciate you all listening and tuning into our podcast. Be sure to follow us on our Instagram handle at 30the20. That's 30 the THA 20 20 on IG, and we'll catch y'all in the next episode.
Thank y'all for tuning in. See y'all later.